What is rosé? Rosé is pink wine, but basically it's red wine made like a white wine. So white wine, basically you crush the grapes and you let it sit there. You get the skins and the seeds, all that stuff out of there, and it's usually in a big stainless steel tank. And it's fermented in the tank, and then it goes straight into the bottle, and it's very clean, and all you taste is the fruit itself. There's nothing done to it. Chardonnay is the only white wine that typically is a bit of an exception to that, because Chardonnay is usually put in a barrel after it's made, so it's going to be flavored by the barrel as well as the flavor of the grapes. So it's kind of a hybrid of two flavors, the wood and the grapes. Almost all red wines go into a barrel. So you're tasting the juice and you're tasting the wood. Now, Pinot Gris, for example, is never put into oak barrels, so it's stainless steel fermented, goes right into the bottle, clean, that's all you taste. Rosé, on the other hand, is basically red grapes, squished, and they just let it sit with the skins for maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, depending on which grape they use. And the color starts seeping out of the skin and turning it red. If you let it sit with the skins for weeks, it would be as dark as these other reds. But because it's only a couple hours, it basically just starts turning it red, and then you get those skins out of there, and then you ferment it in a stainless steel tank, just like you would a regular white wine. And so the difference between, say, a white Zinfandel, which is sweet, and a dry rosé is the same process, except that you stop the yeast from eating all the sugar. So when you're making wine, you got this kind of really sugary tank full of all this juice, and it's really delicious, but it doesn't have any alcohol. So the yeast goes in and starts eating all the sugar and converts it to alcohol. And then on all these dry wines, you let the yeast keep eating until there's nothing left to eat. And then the wine is done, and it's a very dry wine. Whereas sweet wine, you stop the yeast from finishing its job, and so essentially you're going to have what's called residual sugar, or leftover sugar. So in a white Zinfandel, you would stop the yeast from finishing its job early, so there's a lot of natural sugar still there. Where in a dry rosé like this, you let the yeast go crazy until they're done, and they're full, and there's no more sugar. And so essentially, even though it's pink, it's going to be bone dry because you haven't left any sugar in it. So a lot of times people are afraid of rosé just because of that, but really it's kind of a cool wine. It's very popular in southern France and also a little bit in Italy, and it is pretty delicious.